Hello, Facebook. It's Reid from ReidAboutSex.com, and today we have many guest stars today. This is like a variety show. So the title is 5 tips from 5 educators. Dave, you're an educator now, but just for this video.
It's not upgraded.
It stops immediately after we stop recording. And I'm gonna have my friends introduce themselves, and then we're each gonna give a tip for having either better relationships or better sex. You can all leave questions, and we'll check the questions later when we get inside and whatnot. So feel free to leave questions and just let us know what you think. And as you sign on, like say hi or hit some emoticons, so that we know that you're there, and also speak loudly to the phone, because I don't have a shotgun mic on it. So who wants to go first? Who are you? Why are you here?
My name is Buster Rådvik. I am a somatic psychotherapist working in this arena of Tantra and also trauma and relationship and sexuality intimacy.
Yay! Welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for being a guest star today. And the reason we're not walking is it would be so hard to try to get everybody in the shot. So this is horrible. Okay, so
can we pretend to walk for a minute?
Yeah, we can pretend. There we go. There we go. We're all walking. So who are you?
I'm Monique, darling, and I love traveling around the world and getting to share tips like this in experiential workshops, and it's one of my greatest callings.
Okay. And what's your website so people can find you?
Embodiedintimacy.com.
Okay. What's your
Mine's
website?
whereintheworldismoniquedarling.com.
Yeah. And that's a legitimate question because we never know where Monique is. Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Rachel Rickards, and I'm here because I work with Buster with Embodied Intimacy, and we do intimacy and relationship coaching and what did I want to say? I wanted to say like up-leveling, up-leveling.
And you also run events from behind the scenes.
Run events from behind the scenes and festivals like Soul Play Festival,
which is happening in a couple of days.
Happening in a couple of days with all 5 of us.
Yeah. Which is sold out. So if you haven't bought your tickets, Soul Play is officially sold out.
But you can come to Intimacy Fest the week after with me,
right.
Dave, and Reid.
Which is a great segue to this human being on the end who's like, I'm an educator? I'm like, we are for this video.
And I want to say that generally these introductions are not my favorite thing about about live videos in here, and I usually like to make a joke or say that I'm from ReidAboutSex.com, or maybe say something like that. But I won't do that. I will give you a legitimate intro, elevator pitch that would make some seminar people happy. Or maybe I won't. But I'm Dave Buddha, and I run an event called Intimacy Fest, where I take. Oh my gosh, look at this.
We're coming in close, Dave.
Come on in. Where I've actually what it is I discovered that I had been to some events with Reid, and I had seen how brilliant he was, and I was like, why is he showing up for 4 days and only teaching once? I think that's stupid. Why would somebody ever do that? And so I said, why don't I run an event? Instead of inviting a bunch of teachers, I'll just invite Reid and have him teach over and over again.
And then you found out why they only have to teach once.
And it was brilliant. And so I called this thing Intimacy Fest.
Yeah. It's really Reid Fest, apparently.
Now it's like Reid and Dave Fest, which is really perfect. So
well, thank you for that. It's a really Intimacy Fest is a really wonderful experience at a wonderful place in Southern California. So if you're curious about that, what's the website for that?
IntimacyFest.com.
IntimacyFest.com. All right. So who wants to give their first tip? One tip for having better relationships, better sex. What's your tip? Who wants to go?
I would say for better sex. I would say the most best tip that I can give is basically to relax once the energy has been consumed. Don't be afraid of the sexual energy like lessening. Use that as a way to really come so use the pause as the way to connect and look into one of those eyes and say, hi, there you are, how are you doing, what's happening? So you use the so as long as the power washing is not going on, then you can just connect and let that be the gear shift to the next kind of episode of sex that wants to happen.
So I have to resort to live demos.
just have to let everyone know. The sex t-shirts that I wear, the printing shop is literally 50 feet from my front door. So we're sitting outside, and they're printing screens, and I have to wash them off before the ink dries because it ruins the silk screen printing screen. It will eventually end. I'm so sorry for the noise.
No worries.
Like
Okay,
two more to do.
let's hurry and jump
We're all
in.
gonna get.
Okay.
So the tip that I have is to continuously do self-work on yourself, and it's for better relationships and better sexuality, so that you can really get clear on what are your needs, what are your desires, and then be super ultra vulnerable and speak them. And then if something happens and that's not being met, then one of the grandest things that I've found in my relationships is for us to take turns holding you in your disappointment, holding you in that space without trying to fix the other person, so that you can really have more room and safety to be able to continuously look at and share the things that you most want in your relationship.
Thank you.
Rachel,
My turn.
what's your tip?
My tip is for both, because I think you can do it with both, either in your relationship
And that's the BART. That's the San Francisco train going by.
or in your like safe sex elevator speech, to lead with what you least want to say. And then from there to invite impact from the people hearing what you least want to say, and then allowing them to share.
What does impact mean?
Impact means, how does what I share impact you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
How does my share impact you? How does that affect you? Yeah.
Dave?
Come on in here for a second.
Come in close.
Come on in here. I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you. I'm gonna recommend something right here.
Wow.
So this is legit what I would recommend, and it's relevant here because we're here with these people here. But I legit, if people haven't like mass consumed the stuff that Reid is putting out, I will say this because I've said this to you before, and you put out a ton of stuff. Sometimes your website and things, there's just a lot of stuff people don't know where to like.
It's not organized.
It's not organized, and it'd be like going into like a thrift store that has like hundreds and hundreds of fucking amazing things.
It's kind of like
for like $2. I mean, there's it would be way smarter, and you get way cooler stuff than you would get at like a department store. Like you're getting the most unique, awesome shit, right? And so I would just genuinely recommend people just mass consume the stuff that you're putting out, because there's just no one else that's doing as quality of stuff. And me personally, I mean, I've said this before, but if I were to look at if this table were the pie chart of my understanding about love and sexuality, it's disgusting table. But if it were like that, I could section off 70% of it, and I could say that Reid is responsible for pretty much most of what I do in the good way. And maybe it's just that's, you've just been my role model, and I've just learned and it also happens to be have very similar tastes and desires, so it helps. The path that you're on is one that I want to be on too.
I think you already are.
What's that?
I think you're already on that path.
Oh no, for sure. We're going in the same direction. I'm saying I'm we're both slutty, duty guys. Whatever, right?
That's
so
D-U-D-E, not D-O-O-D-I-E.
Duty is a poop. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, you're not into that, actually. Oh, sorry, that's an assumption I should have made. But that, and I also want to recommend Esther Perel's 3-part series on Audible. There's Audible original podcast thing. Mm-hmm. Because we've talked about Esther Perel before, and I think we all love her. Her 3-part thing on Audible right now is free. I think it's going to be they're going to charge a couple bucks for it soon. It is fucking amazing.
Yeah, Esther Perel's really amazing.
The shit she did on there is magic. There's 3 parts. The 3rd episode is called Speak to Me in French, and she works with this couple and has them do some role playing, and one of the guys speaks French, and it's just the most epic, beautiful, magical thing ever. So I just really, really recommend everybody check that out. Yeah, it's awesome.
Great.
What's
All
your
right.
tip, Reid?
What's yours?
What's
Never
your
let
tip, Reid?
Dave hold the selfie stick. That's my tip. Never let him hold the
Dirty
selfie.
table.
Yeah, and clean the table before you do a Facebook Live. So my biggest tip for relationships is say what you're not saying. So practice sharing the scary stuff. Rachel touched on that a little bit. Lead with the scary stuff. I think that is super, super useful and important because there's so much that we don't say in our intimate relationships or in bed because we're afraid. And exercising that muscle and building that courage is really, really important. You can go to readaboutsex.com/convo, C-O-N-V-O, and download the difficult conversation formula. There's also an article there that you can read about how to use the conversation formula. But sharing the scary stuff also has the double bonus of your role modeling for your relationships that they can share the scary stuff that they're not sharing too. And when you are surrounded by people who share the things that they're afraid to share, life might be difficult at times and you might have to process some stuff. But on the other side of that is a lot more freedom, self-expression, just healthier relationships. And then I would say my bonus tip is hang out with awesome people who are trying to do the work to foster themselves, like Monique said, who are capable of slowing down and understanding that sexual energy will ebb and flow, and are fearless in showing you the dirty table. And taking the selfie stick of life.
That's a metaphor.
Taking the selfie stick of life.
Showing you.
And somebody, and people who are, and this is true, Dave, like you're really courageous about, and ravenous about ingesting information and content. So you're a really, you're a seeker. Yeah, I'm just gonna block myself out. You're
an implementer.
Yeah.
He actually implements your work. Like that's what I heard Dave saying is like there's all this work out here, especially your work, and if you're actually looking at it and doing it, that's
my
what's
pickup
going to
line,
change your
actually.
life.
I go out and
You
say,
implement.
I'd like to implement something with you.
But you're so good at that. I see you really take in all of this and then use it almost immediately. It's beautiful.
all right. So as we bring this in for a landing, where do people find you?
Intimacyfest.com.
Embodiedintimacy.com.
Where in the world is MoniqueDarling.com?
Readaboutsex.com.
Embodiedintimacy.com.
All right, everybody, give us some emoticons on the way out if you would like.
Love you.
Bye, bye. Time to go back to work, everyone.
This is work.
Thanks,
This counts.
guys.